welcome back to my channel. I come bearing excellent news. The Vampire Lestat is coming this June. Yes, June, Pride Month correlation, I think so. Anyways, I am so thrilled and beyond excited to see my boy Lestat in his prime because as you guys know, last season he wasn't really himself. He was a ghost and then a puppet. But this season, he's gonna be himself. He's gonna be a messy bitch, and I'm so here for it. Anyways, without further ado, let's check out the exclusive clip that dropped.
You are listening to The Failures, Album 8, Side A.
What do you think?
It's nice.
Nice?
Yeah, it's nice. I don't see Beyonce covering it, but it's nice.
Nice is nothing.
It's nice.
Nice is a balloon.
That you're back writing music.
A flower box
it's
is nice.
That you got yourself a nice place. It's a nice word. And it says everything I wanted to express. Don't be a bitch about it.
The clip starts with a banger music, a rock and roll kind of theme, and then it pans to Lestat sitting on his piano and doing a FaceTime call with Louis, and Lestat is singing this dulcet kind of tune which is very much, soothing and calming and like classical inspired, I'd say. I don't know nothing about music, but it doesn't really sound rock and roll is all I'm trying to convey. Anyways, and in this FaceTime call he's singing and humming to Louis, and Louis is like listening to him, whatever. And then Lestat is like, what do you think about this? And Louis, the little shit that he is, he's like, it's nice. I don't see Beyonce covering it. Which, by the way, this Beyonce thing reminds me of the Taylor Swift versus Lestat debacle. And when it was all over Twitter that Lestat would absolutely hate Taylor Swift, and they are both blondes, and the comparisons between the two. And I think talking about Taylor Swift would be too much on the nose, so they have used Beyonce, who is also a very big icon of the decade of this 2000s, so obviously. Anyways, then Lestat is very offended by the nice comment from Louis. He's like, what do you mean nice? And Louis is like, it's nice. You've got a nice place. It is nice. The word perfectly encapsulates what I'm trying to express, and Lestat is not having it. Lestat is like, nice is a bouquet of flowers, nice is balloons. By the way, when he says balloons, in the FaceTime call, like it triggers a lot of balloons over like floating over Louis' face, which is really cute. Anyways, they're having this back and forth, kind of quarrel, like play quarrel almost, and then Lestat takes the tablet over to the balcony. And he says, like, come live here, but, come to me.
Come and see your guest room.
It's an affluent neighborhood. Old money, young professionals, a smattering of Christ de Trustful baby.
Good eating.
No potholes, no hurricanes, no witches. Everyone mangles French just like you do. Come to me.
Montreal. I am he, and he is me.
There's baggage here.
Well, I get it.
Besides, there's an Olmsted Park nearby if I get homesick. And there's a garage band rehearsing across the street who call themselves, of all things, Satan.
They call themselves, of all things, Satan?
Satan's Night Out.
Satan's Night Out?
Satan's Night Out.
Lestat tells Louis that he has a guest room and he wants Louis to come and stay in it, kind of, and then he takes the tab and he goes over to the balcony, and it is very much reminiscent of the time in season 1 when Lestat used to look out of the balcony and whisper, come to me, and Louis, in hopes that Louis would hear him, and he was hunting me kind of thing. And I think it was a nod to that because the balcony scene very much reminded me of that. Oh, and then Lestat starts listing the pros of the neighborhood, if you will. He's like, this is a very affluent neighborhood and how there are no potholes, hurricanes, or witches. And then he says that he won't be homesick and everybody mangles French like Louis does. And then he's like talking about everything, trying to get Louis to visit him. And then Louis makes a comment like, Montreal is me, I am Montreal, something like that. Anyways, and then Lestat mentions this band, this garage band, and he says of all things it is called Satan, and Louis is like Satan, and then Lestat is like Satan's night out. Louis is like Satan's night owl, which is like the comedy is there, you guys. Anyways, Lestat is like, no, Satan's night out. And then like a notification pops up and it catches Lestat's attention, and you can see Lestat is getting a little bit distracted from the call.
You know someone called Daniel Malloy?
I burned his laptop. I didn't know he had it saved in the cloud. I only found out it was coming out a month ago.
You've known for a month, and you talk about me in it to a mortal?
Well, yeah, but,
No, I don't know, Louis. Please, explain yourself.
It's gonna be here and gone in a minute. No one reads anymore.
Lestat, il est genre whatever.
100%.
Mais Armand, il est genre mystérieux.
Ouais, il y a des layers.
T'as-tu vu sa toile au Louvre? Hey, toutes les boomers faisaient la file pour aller voir l'autre bonne femme avec sa resting bitch face. Moi, j'ai skippé de ça puis j'étais allée direct voir ma bella boy dans le coin de ma salle. Je le ferais. Faut que tu lances ça. Je le pognerais, je le mordrais,
Bien sûr, bro.
puis je le lécherais. Le stat, man. Il aurait dû le brûler, maudit français, sur Royal Street.
100%.
Complètement wild, ce livre-là. Tu veux-tu devenir membre? Il y a 10% de...
No, thank you.
Lestat sees the notification pops up and he gets really distracted, and you can see it. And then he asks Louis, do you know someone called Daniel Malloy? And then it immediately cuts to Lestat and, Louis on the phone, like, over-explaining himself, and it's like a mess. And, Lestat is walking down the street, and Louis is like, I didn't know this would happen. I thought I burned his laptop. I didn't know he had it on the cloud. And it's the funniest thing ever, to be honest. And then Lestat stops at a bookstore, and, Louis tells him on the phone, like, nobody even reads anymore. So people would have forgotten it by now. It's here and then it's gone. Blah blah blah, and Lestat is furious. Anyways, he walks up to this bookstore. By the way, the front of the bookstore is covered with Interview of the Vampire posters, and it's like the front display is only Interview of the Vampire books. Okay, so Lestat is visibly furious, and by the way, he's wearing like this dark coat and like big black sunglasses. It's very much giving like a celeb off duty, avoiding paparazzi kind of a thing, which is ironic. Anyways, and then Lestat walks in the store and he's like looking through the books and he's like, what is happening? And then he hears a girl talk about the book. He's like, Armand, he's so mysterious and everything. And someone agrees with her and says, yeah, he got layers. And, they talk about, Armand's picture in like, and in the museum, and, and then she shows the guy like a picture of Armand and her, and then she calls Armand Peter Boy and then says that she'd totally smash it. I mean, Armand, which, if you know the history of the picture, you would not make that comment. But anyways, let's not get into that. Lestat is getting more and more furious because this girl says that, Lestat, Louis should have burned his ass in the Royal Street, and Lestat is like having to, he's like 2 seconds away from histrionics and hyperventilating. Anyways, and then he's like, he takes 2 copies of the books. I don't know, somebody wrote in the social media, that one is like the French copy and one is the English version, so that he can cross off paragraphs and just write never fucking happened. Anyways, Lestat takes those 2 books and, stands at the checkout, and then this woman is like, lick it, burn it, whatever, and then the woman is like, would you like to be a member? And Lestat throws a fit and he says no. And like, I am so excited about this season. This is gonna be epic. Like, I am a long-term fan of Interview with a Vampire and I'm used to the way the show is filmed. But The Vampire Lestat has a complete different vibe altogether. Like, it's very comical and it's very rock and roll and it's really based on Lestat. And if you know, Lestat is a very dramatic person. He's like, yeah, like he is kind of like the only person that I compare to Lestat with is Dorian Gray. I think they are both kind of vain and like superficial and but still I love them both very much. So Lestat is going to throw a fit, and that is, the segue into the defamation lawsuit. I think he's going to sue Louis and Daniel Malloy, and it's going to be really, really funny because, as you can remember in that one clip where he was like completely like not having it and he was really angry, he's like, Armand, Armand has changed the entire thing and you liked him, and that kind of a thing, that thing that I once called a divorce is actually a defamation lawsuit. And Louis looks so like chill for some reason, but Lestat is clearly not having it. And I think because that book was, before that book, Lestat was kind of in his healing journey. He was like, recovering, being himself, before, he was in a catatonic state before, and then now he's coming back to himself. He would have probably, gone down the classical music route if it hadn't been that fucked up book, which actually made him go crazy. I think because he wanted to clear his name, he joined the Satan's Night Out band. I mean, he will join that band and he'd be like a celebrity and he'd be like, well, let me just use this as for fame and then I'll just clear my name. And yeah, I'm so excited for that. Okay, I've just been talking for so long, I have to take a breather. Anyway, so yeah, it's gonna be so much fun. I just cannot wait till June. Like, it's too long for me. I just want to see it right now. But too bad. I'm hoping they release, a few more teasers here and there. I mean, Rockstar Lestat is gonna be so fine. I have seen so many clips and he looks absolutely gorgeous. Blonde hair and curls. Like, he's gone off the rails and he's a bad boy now and he's drinking in the, like behind closed doors, and it's like, wow. And I don't know how it's gonna end, but if they show even a glimpse of Akasha, I am going to flip. Anyways, that is it for this video. Please tell me if you liked it and share any opinions in the comments down below. I will see you guys in the next video.